Hi, welcome back to the channel. Well, I've been asked if I could do some builds on the OG Banshee. That is the one that, of course, costs just $100,000, or if you happen to, as I do, have the Criminal Enterprise pack, I think it's called, from years ago, then it's one of the free cars in there. The car is based primarily on the sort of middle generation Dodge Vipers. I think we'd say second and third. Correct me if I'm wrong. The one to me it looks most like is the one they call the ZB1, and that's because of the side exhaust primarily. So I have built 5. I was requested to do a red one, a purple one, and a blue one. I've also chosen yellow and silver as the other colours. All these cars are based on a real world one. Before we do actual builds, I think I need to be reminded, and perhaps you need to be reminded, what you can and can't do with this car. Moving on through the bumpers, all you can do is the front one, and all you can do is make it carbon. So any form of ACR build with canards and stuff on there, you can forget. The exhaust, I say, on the side, you can have a big one, 2 little ones, or 1 little one. The hood, you can have a stock hood with big vents, or a vented hood with small vents. And just the vented one carbon, or rather the stock one carbon. So not much choice there. The liveries are good. Certainly the shopping lists, maybe not so much. But then look, white, black, red and yellow double stripes. And again, the same colours in the more racy version of the stripes. So they're all good. As for these other free ones I got, you know, you get different ones at different times. Not everybody might have these. But Weekend Racer, Banshee Racing, Silly Camouflage, Yogurishima and Fukaroo. Probably not likely to use those free ones anyway, but the stripes look good. You can see the colour distribution. Primary on the body, secondary is on the stripes and on the stitching. I think very important is to note that you don't need to go and buy a topless Viper. And of course, if you have Criminal Enterprise or pack, I think that's what it's called, you got free Vipers anyway. So you're already okay with the roof. With the spoiler, high level, more Japanese looking spoiler really. Mid level looks pretty good, and drift wing, well, there might be a build for that. Suspension, the car isn't too high anyway, and it goes decently low. And that's really it then, wheels and windows. So that's what we've got to play with. Now what can we make? First car we're going to look at here then is the Banshee. I mean the Banshee. I think you may well be aware that there was a competition run right when I think GTA 5 came out to win an actual Banshee. So it was West Coast Customs, I think, took an SRT 10 of the time and gave it all the styling features of Banshee. And it was won by, I think it was the mother of the person who bought the game. Could be wrong on that. Anyway, she didn't really want it, so she sold it on. It's been moved a few times through collections and apparently appeared briefly in an episode of Better Call Saul. I saw all of them but somehow missed it. So if you build one of these, I mean, how much more accurate can you be really than a car from the game in the game? It's a very easy build. The main thing are the wheels. I've gone for an all chrome wheel because I hate the alloy colour. The stock wheels are not far off. These are the chrome Cosmo wheel. And the reason I've gone for the Cosmo is if you look at those little loops that make each set of double spokes, there's 10 of them on this Cosmo. There's another wheel, I forget the name of it, which has 7 of them on. Well, if you count the ones on the real car, there are 9. So I figured the Cosmo was closer, although I'm sure when this was in my garage tour it had the other wheels on. Otherwise, what do we do? Not much. We leave it all stock. We use a metallic blue paint with a surf blue pearl. That's the one that you get for free with it. We use a secondary classic ice white, or you could go with the metallic ice white to give us the stripe. I prefer the classic though for the look of a sort of vinyl type stripe. That's pretty much it. Everything else is stock. Put your own plate on the back. So I do commend this build to you as a really easy one. Next build here is this yellow car. So this is a one-off car with 1,000 horsepower. Now there is something quite addictive about these cars that had ridiculous power and then somebody just added a load more. The reason I like this car was, firstly, I wanted a yellow one, to be honest with you. The twin black stripes available in the game, and these wheels are quite close. So to make this, it's a classic race yellow. You can see what the livery is, and the wheels are the Hype 5, which I think come from the street category, but if it's track, I'll write it on the screen now. Otherwise, everything else is stock on the car. But what an effective and easy and sort of striking build. I think maybe I'd put the black number plate on though. For our next build, we've got a movie car for the red one. I could have done red with white stripes, made an SRT 10. In fact, I nearly did, and I used the chrome Wagon Master wheels, which I thought worked very well for the SRT 10 I was building. Then I changed my mind, and I built this. So this is a 2006 Viper from the Angelina Jolie movie Wanted. And again, a very simple build. I wanted to give you a movie build. I was going to build Letty's from Fast Furious 7, but the wheels, whilst they're an easy style, the red rim was so distinct on them, and we can't have the red rim with the black interior. Then I was going to build the yellow one that appeared in Fast 2. However, it required A, mustard yellow, so we needed the crew colour, and B, I'd already built a yellow one. So that's why this is the movie build. Again, how simple. Paint everything in Torino red. Leave pretty much all of it stock. You do want a white plate on this one to match the movie. And chrome S-Racer wheels get you very, very close. So that's a nice build. And if you want to do a movie collection, well, you couldn't get simpler than that. Well, I definitely wanted to build also some convertibles. You don't have to spend 105,000 on the different one, of course. You just take the roof off, as I showed you. Now, this one really jumped out at me when I was looking for convertibles. This one belonged to somebody who'd put a load of parts on it from the much more recent Gen 5 Viper, like the ACRs we were building I don't know, month or two ago. So I did say to you, I'm not going to do anything that needs a big front splitter because we don't have one. Well, sorry, I really like the look of that car. So, although I couldn't have the splitter, and although my ducktail can't be painted black, I did this anyway. And it's very simple. It's a silver metallic, ice white pearl, the twin double stripes livery. Of course, in the wrong light, they do pick up that pearl. But I found that if you reduced the pearl, you really reduced the intensity of the silver and sort of ruined it. The roof obviously has to come off, and it's the Cheetah RR wheels painted in black to get us, you know, as close as we can to those stock 2017 ACR wheels. I really like this. This is, if you like, my one. This is the one that's all tuned up that came out from my garage tour. And I think I like this more than the one that I had it on as the garage tour. So it's a similar colour. I'm going to keep this like it for a while. So I say we had the request for a purple one, and they didn't make a purple one. So I did what you do when you really want something like this. I went searching, and I found a company that said our customer wanted a plum crazy 2005 Viper, and of course couldn't find one, so we made it for him. So firstly, this is a crew colour, and I'm going to put the hex on the screen, and I'm going to also put on the screen the username and the post from the person who kindly gave me this hex. They were saying, you know, when I did the Hellcats, that the Plum Crazy, which came from GTAcolors.com, wasn't that great, and they had a better one. So this is that one. Now, they suggested different pearls, but you know, I've been playing with the pearls. I spent ages on a streetcar playing with this colour. And when you look at some photos, there's a little bit of a purple or pinky glint to the car in the pearl, like this one has. In other ones, that doesn't seem so much. So what I've actually done here, after much experimentation, I put in a very dark red, wine red, and mixed with the purple. It just seems to give that slight pinky hue, but without going over the top, without having a sort of hot pink or something like that just blasted out at you. I didn't want that. So I think this is a very good looking plum crazy car. It was a one-off with a big spoiler, so I've put the big spoiler on, which is going to be a put-off for many, I realise, but I'm trying to match the car. And the wheels are black S-Racer. So there we are, 5 different builds on this car. Oh God, I didn't do my number plate, look. 5 different builds on this car. I'd like to know which are your favourite, and what do you think of this car? Obviously we are limited in options, but somehow we can still get some decent looking cars. I'll tell you my favourites. They are of course the silver one at the back. I rather like that, even though it's some way off the truth. The yellow one really appeals to me, and my overall favourite will be the blue one, because after all it's got an interesting story behind it, and it's the closest car that we have to that car. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, and thank you so much for watching.